Okay, so Lori came up here yesterday, but yesterday's focus was mostly on decadal stuff, and so we didn't want to get too distracted and stuff, so I'm playing cleanup for her and going over some of the other planetary updates that she didn't get to. I did want to point out, she showed this fleet chart yesterday, but she didn't point out that the moon now gets its own little cutout, like we're right there. Come on, nobody else is excited about this. Our own little spot, yeah. And even Viper, we even have Viper on there, so. A few RNA updates. Lori did mention yesterday that Jonathan has left us, and Stephen is acting in his place. There are a few other changes. LDAP is, Bobby has also decided to step down from LDAP, is being taken over by Shoshana. Shoshana, are you in the room? There you go, stand up, say hi. Yes, thank you, Shoshana. I'm still on the caucus. The caucus is Shoshana and I, so there you go. If you have questions about LDAP, we are here. Do you have anything else? Do you have anything else you want to say? Any updates about LDAP?
Nope, not right now.
Right now, okay, but she's here. Also, I should mention that Jen Heldman, Jen, are you here? She was here yesterday, maybe she's not, is stepping down from SSW. Delia is going to take point on that, but again, that's a big caucus, and there are lots of people involved in that. Shoshana is also on that caucus, so you can come to her if you have questions about SSW as well. There was a question yesterday, it did come up about some changes to lunar sample proposals in SSW versus EW. There is still some discussion about that. We are aware that there are concerns. We have heard you guys. If you have questions and comments about that, I advise you to let the caucus leads of SSW and EW know. They are having some discussions about that. So stand by for an update, but please let your voices be heard. They're willing to take input. KPLO, participating scientists, proposals for that have been submitted. They are on hold. The review has been postponed pending discussions with CARI regarding changes to the mission plan and how that's going to affect the payload. The final science orbit is still being determined. There are lots of discussions going on, but things seem to be looking in a positive direction. That's fair to say, Ben? Yes, good. So that's on hold temporarily, but things are looking up, so that's good. Survey, I wanted to say we have selected 8 new teams that are returning. There are 4 continuing teams. We welcome our new teams. There are a few teams rolling off, and I wanted to say, thank you guys for your participation over the years. You've been fantastic members, and once part of the Survey family, always part of the Survey family. So please, I hope you feel welcome and continue to participate in our community. Everybody in the lunar community is welcome to also participate in our forums and activities and things. We are here to serve the entire community. I'm not going to talk about Trailblazer because Bethany's here in the room, and anyway, but just a note that this is also part of the Planetary Science portfolio, and we are happy to have you. Did want to say a few words about Apollo Next Gen Sample Analysis, the ANXA program. Steve mentioned this morning, this is actually part of the LDEP portfolio, but it sits within Planetary Science Research, and so it is managed by Jeff and I at headquarters. Many of you are probably familiar with this, but a little background for those who are not. These are some special samples collected by Apollo, including some that have never been opened. These were 9 teams were selected I don't know how many months ago, a few months ago. We're sort of looking at this as like a new sample return mission, right? It's like practice for when we get new samples back from Apollo. We're kind of trying to treat it that way. Processing, preliminary exam analysis are designed to utilize new and improved techniques, right? We set these samples aside intentionally because we knew down the road we would have better improved techniques and things, and so now it's sort of time for us to do that. And we're really trying to link this sort of first generation of lunar explorers to this new generation of Artemis explorers. So the specially curated samples sort of fall into 3 categories. They're the unopened vacuum sealed samples. There are 3 of these left. We are opening 1 of those 3 because even now we feel like we don't want to below all of our WAD, and there may be further opportunities later to opening other ones. So we're being very conservative. We're opening one of these three. It is an Apollo 17 core, 73001. There are also some Apollo samples that were brought back and frozen not long after they were brought back. And so there are a number of those that folks are studying. And there are a few that were stored in helium. They were opened under helium, and they have been stored under helium ever since. And so most of our samples are stored under nitrogen. So there are reasons if you want to look at something that wasn't stored under nitrogen. So there's a couple of those samples as well. They are actually making great progress. Again, we are opening the sealed sample 73001, as well as the other half of that double drive tube 73002. That one was not sealed on the moon, but it has never been opened. These two are collected from just off this landslide here, the South Massif, and so some interesting science to be done there. We are about to open 73002, the unsealed one. It's the first time a core has been opened in decades. It's fairly exciting. We will be doing it in November, like I said, coming up very soon. We've already done some XTC imaging of it, and we've established sort of a protocol for preliminary exams, whatnot. Jack Schmidt is actually coming down for the kickoff event. He is part of one of these science teams. He was also the one who collected the samples, so that's kind of fun. And then they'll be sent off for analysis and preliminary exams. We are working still on the gas extraction tool for the sealed sample, and so that one's going to be a while down the road. It takes a long time to process one of these cores, and it's the first time we've done it in a long time. So the next one's going to be several months, maybe a year down the road. But they are working on it and trying to figure out how to extract those gases. So that's an exciting thing. The frozen samples, they have built a frozen sample glove box, and it's operational. They're getting ready to start processing those samples. That's great. And the helium sample glove box is also operational, and they're getting ready to move forward on those samples as well. So a lot of great progress, and sort of behind the scenes stuff with the curation office. But we are ready to get started on science for those things. So that's pretty cool. I think that's my last, yes, that's my last slide.
The only one? Hi, Bob Grimm, Southwest Research. Sarah, what's the plan going to be for KPLO if the orbit, obviously stays at 100 kilometers? I assume the proposals just go into review. If it goes higher or whatever, are you going to ask for all new proposals? Or are you just going to reject proposals that you don't think work? Are you going to ask for a delta to those proposals?
Do you want to take that, Shoshana?
Sorry.
I was not listening. So if KPLO's orbit changes, is there a plan for how to deal with that?
The plan right now is to know what the change will be, I think, and assess how big an impact to the science yield there'll be. If it's minimal, then we're likely to just review the proposals we have in hand right now.
I would just caution about how you guys going to assess what the impact of this to the proposer's science is going to be.
Well, we're talking about yield of the actual instruments, though, just in terms of resolutions, that kind of thing.
I request that you allow the proposers to look at what the changes are and assess what they think the impact is, and then it can be evaluated by peer review.
I mean, right now there's a chance that it might be almost no change. So well, it's a wait and see, but yes, taken. Okay. Point is taken.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.